Welcome to this explainer. Look, AI governance has officially moved from the IT server room right up to the boardroom. We're looking at a fundamental, incredibly high-stakes transformation in the global AI regulatory environment. For the past couple of years, AI has felt like this frontier of just limitless, unchecked potential. But as you'll see today, that landscape is shifting dramatically. We're going to map out exactly how you can navigate this new regulatory frontier, how to turn compliance into a competitive advantage, and build a truly responsible AI program across your entire enterprise.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Here is our roadmap for today. We'll start with the shift to governed AI, compare a tale of two very distinct laws, explore their shared destination, and break down the enterprise-wide impact. Then, we'll map out a clear three-phase roadmap, and finally, look at how to build a strategic AI advantage.
Section 1. Welcome to Governed AI, and honestly, the end of the Wild West. Because that Wild West era of ungoverned AI experimentation, it is officially over. For a long time, doing responsible AI was viewed as, a nice exercise in corporate goodwill. But the ground truth today is that responsible AI is a strict legal and reputational imperative. The question is no longer whether your organization uses AI, it's whether you have the oversight structures in place to deploy it legally. And if anyone thinks the consequences are just going to be a slap on the wrist, let this number sink in. 35 million euros. Under the European Union's AI Act, penalties for the most serious violations can reach up to 35 million euros, or 7% of your global annual revenue, whichever is higher. For corporate leaders, the financial risks of non-compliance are absolutely existential.
Moving right along to Part 2, a tale of two laws and their divergent approaches.
And this brilliantly illustrates how different parts of the world are tackling the exact same problem. On one side, we have the EU AI Act, which casts a massive, sweeping horizontal net. It essentially classifies all AI systems into 4 tiers based on technical risk, from entirely banned applications all the way down to minimal risk tools. But on the other side, Colorado's Senate Bill 2619 takes a completely different angle. It actually doesn't care as much about the technical risk tiers. Instead, it uses a highly targeted, consumer-centric approach, focusing entirely on the consequences of the automated decisions being made. Let's actually zero in on Colorado's approach for a second. The state's Automated Decision-Making Technology Act, or ADMT Act, specifically targets AI used in high-stakes domains. We're talking about things that change lives: hiring, lending, housing, healthcare, financial services. Regulators in Colorado are basically asking one question: does this AI system make or substantially influence a decision that could severely and irreversibly harm an individual's livelihood? If the answer is yes, you are heavily regulated under their consequential decision focus. The distinction is absolutely crucial here. The EU is regulating the technology's risk level, while the US is starting to regulate the severity of its outcomes.
Which brings us to Section 3, the shared destination, or convergence.
They might be wondering, does this mean I need to build 2 completely different compliance programs to handle these distinct legal angles? Actually, no. Here is our core thesis. Despite their differing approaches, these 2 massive laws are driving organizations toward the exact same destination. If we map them side by side, the similarities are striking, especially when you look at the core consumer rights they embed. Whether you're dealing with a high-risk system in Berlin or a consequential decision system in Denver, you absolutely must provide consumers with notice that AI is being used, an explanation of the decision, the right to opt out, and the right to a human appeal. Treating these as separate, siloed compliance checklists is a massive waste of organizational resources.
So, what's really interesting about this is how we solve for it. The only efficient way to satisfy both frameworks is by building a unified governance architecture. By using a recognized global blueprint like the ISO 42001 standard or the NIST AI Risk Management Framework, which are essentially standardized best practice playbooks for managing risk, you create a defensible, audit-ready posture. It completely bridges the gap between EU and US requirements, eliminating duplicate efforts while centralizing accountability right up at the board level.
All right, let's move to Section 4, enterprise-wide impact and the departmental realities.
A really crucial distinction you need to understand as a C-suite executive is the difference between an AI provider and an AI deployer. As an enterprise, you are more than likely an AI deployer, meaning you buy AI tools and integrate them into your business. You cannot just pass the liability back to the vendor who sold you the software. You inherit those operational obligations. Let's look at how this hits specific departments, starting with HR and marketing. HR now has to conduct independent bias audits for AI hiring tools. And here's a major sticking point. Both laws require meaningful human review. If a recruiter just clicks approve on an AI-generated candidate list without the actual authority or time to override the system, regulators will view that as a rubber stamp, not a review. Over in marketing, chatbots absolutely must disclose they are AI, and AI-generated content has to be clearly labeled for the consumer.
The impact on finance and operations is equally heavy, perfectly represented by this number, 3. Under Colorado's ADMT Act, deployers are subject to a strict 3-year record retention requirement. So if your finance team uses AI for credit scoring or insurance underwriting, you have to keep exhaustive records of which systems were used, the exact data inputs and outputs, your impact assessments, and the human review processes applied, for a minimum of 3 years.
Meanwhile, your IT and product development teams, they carry the heaviest technical implementation burden. The first massive hurdle for them is shadow AI. IT has to conduct comprehensive discovery to unearth all the AI tools business units have procured completely outside of IT's purview, because you literally cannot govern what you don't know exists. Secondly, AI systems have completely unique vulnerabilities, things like prompt injection attacks, where users trick the AI into ignoring its safe instructions, or data poisoning, where the underlying training data is intentionally corrupted. Traditional cybersecurity doesn't catch this stuff. IT must integrate security by design into the AI lifecycle from day one.
Section 5, the 3-phase roadmap. Let's look at the actual blueprint for compliance.
Because just understanding the landscape isn't enough, right? You need a concrete cure to handle these burdens. Let's see how this builds out in a proven 3-phase roadmap. Phase 1, covering the first 6 months, is all about inventory and risk. You have to catalog your systems and spot those compliance gaps immediately. Phase 2, stretching to month 18, is policy and controls. This is where you build the government's infrastructure, the consumer notification templates, and the bias audit programs. Finally, Phase 3 is continuous monitoring, establishing those board-level accountability loops and external audits to ensure your governance matures right alongside the technology.
And let me be clear, the urgency of starting this roadmap right now cannot be overstated. The EU AI Act's high-risk system compliance deadlines are staggering throughout 2025 and 2026, and Colorado's ADMT Act takes full effect on January 1, 2027. Keep in mind, your impact assessments and documentation must be fully in place before that deployment date. If you wait until 2026 to start cataloging your inventory in Phase 1, you are simply not going to make it in time.
Finally, Section 6, the strategic AI advantage on the horizon.
It is incredibly tempting to view all this AI regulation merely as a tax on your business. Just a hurdle slowing you down. But the crucial point is this. Organizations that invest in this infrastructure early turn compliance into a massive competitive moat for the decade ahead. Govern proactively by establishing board-level oversight before regulators arrive at your door. Invest in the technical infrastructure and the right talent, like a chief AI officer. Balance your innovation by creating safe sandbox environments for experimentation. And above all else, build a culture of accountability. Because when leadership prioritizes operational transparency, the entire organization follows suit. We've seen today how the EU and the US are fundamentally changing the rules of the game, converging on a standard that absolutely demands transparency, human oversight, and accountability. The organizations that thrive aren't going to be the ones scrambling to meet a checklist at the last minute. They'll be the ones using unified governance to earn stakeholder trust. So I'll leave you with this final thought to consider with your teams. Will compliance constrain your innovation, or will you use it to build the foundation that makes your innovation sustainable for years to come? Thank you for joining this explainer. Start the inventory, build the culture, and go lead your industry into the governed AI era.